everyone. With me today is Brian Gorman, all the way from New York City, from your business. Brian, welcome, by the way. I saw the name earlier. Tell us about the name.
Transforming Lives.Coach is the name of the business. The name comes from the work that I do. I've spent the last 50 years very intentionally engaging change, understanding the landscape of people going through change and what that change journey is. And I bring that to my work as a coach, helping people achieve both personal and professional transformations.
Okay, so it's all about transforming. Well, welcome to Hash Global Leadership Conversation 1. This is a high impact short interview with 2 essence questions. We're trying to speak to individuals like yourself all over the world. And soon we will launch that onto social media, but also onto the Global Leadership platform where people can comment and give their views. So we really appreciate you making the time. I know it's sort of, I guess, early morning or late morning there by you. Appreciate your time. Okay, Brian Gorman, we know that you have your views on the following 2 questions. Let's start with the first one. What is the most important quality or attribute we need to develop or awaken or improve in leaders if we are going to turn around the current leadership crisis?
For me, that answer is very simple. The ability to be in touch with oneself and admit mistakes so that you can continue to learn and grow.
So why is that on the top of your list? Why do you start there?
I start there because none of us has what it takes to be successful in every situation. And all too often, leaders position themselves and are positioned by others as being exemplars of what to do and how to do it, what to say and how to say it. And if you go into that role thinking that you've got it all right, you don't. You just don't.
Are you saying that if you're fully connected with yourself, with who you are and so on, then you will be clear about that point. You will be clear about the fact that you can never know everything. You can make yourself vulnerable, that you need a team. Well, I guess an element of humility.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, so I guess our second question, and unlike some others that I've interviewed, you're zooming very specifically on that point. You're very clear on that. How do we best develop or awaken or improve this quality, this attribute to be absolutely connected to myself? How do we improve that in individuals, in leaders?
I think that at the core of the answer to that question is a couple of things. First of all, certainly in our political environment, we tend to think that we want leaders, and yet what we hire are politicians. So we're not putting leaders into leadership positions in all cases. The second piece of the answer to that question for me is the same whether you're a leader or a frontline worker or anything in between. It's the same whether you're a social activist or a political activist or a person in a religious or spiritual leadership position. It's the same for all of us. People need to learn, as you stated a few minutes ago, to be more in touch with themselves. And for me, what I have found is the most successful venue for bringing people to that point is through one-on-one coaching. And I'll just very briefly recount, I was with a client earlier this morning who, in his words, I've come full circle in the last 2 years. I realized some things about me that I needed to change and grow early on. And with your coaching and mentoring and nourishing, they have now taken root and blossomed. So I'm showing up not as a different person than I am, but I'm showing up more fully as who I truly am today.
So Brian, I guess you're reflecting the fact that coaching is such a growing industry and it's just boomed in the last 10, 20, 30 years, I guess. So your answer to how we can develop that quality that you put on the top of your list is coaching. I do ask a question of you, just to round off my questions is, even coaching seems to be one of the best solutions, but slow in today's fast-paced world. So in general, people would visit with their coach once a month, and maybe they should do it weekly, but it costs too much money, let's say, or the corporate organization won't pay for a weekly session necessarily. So what happens between January coaching session and February coaching session is a hell of a lot. and does coaching change habit, change perception, change character, shall we say, or whatever? Does it change me fast enough?
Well, so let me step back here a minute. As human beings, we live most of our lives on autopilot. And that autopilot is driven by our neural networks and our muscle memory. Changing habits, changing how we show up, is not an instant process for that reason. We literally need to reprogram ourselves. Coaching sessions, when well done, can plant those seeds. They can hold accountable. But whether it's a 2-week, which is a time period I prefer, a 2-week or a 4-week period between sessions, if the individual is not investing in continuing to apply what has surfaced in the more recent coaching sessions, then it's no different than going to class. When you walk out of the classroom, nothing changes.
Okay, Brian Gorman, thank you so much. Short, high impact, simple. You're saying for us to turn around this global leadership crisis, the first thing we have to work on is to get leaders to truly connect with themselves. It starts with me. It starts with the individual. Whether you're a Donald Trump or whether you're the CEO of General Electric, it's got to start with me. Obviously, you and I can have a long conversation. We'll have some more in the future about this and much more, because how do you get, I've got so many questions. How do you get to those people who don't believe they need to change, but they more than anyone else need to change? But those are all different kind of questions. Thank you for your time, Brian Gorman. It's been a pleasure meeting you, and for you to put your thoughts into this universe of our Hash Global Leadership Conversation 1 project. And we look forward to conversation 2 and 3 in the near future, especially as we landed on the Global Leadership Platform. Appreciate your time.
Great. Thank you so much.